Hey, Grace, I need you to borrow a complete futon set and a baby crib from your parents and have them set up in the guest room. I need it done by today.
What?
You know your family has a guest futon, right? Plus your sister-in-law who lives nearby has an unused baby crib.
I think that's the case, but why the sudden request?
Sasha, my sister, just got divorced.
Wait, divorce? So does that mean she's leaving with a baby? The baby crib is for her child?
That's exactly right. However, my parents have grandma who needs constant care, and the environment isn't suitable for a 2-month-old baby, so we decided to take care of them at our place instead.
How long do you expect this arrangement to last?
How long do you mean?
I mean, you can't expect Sasha and the baby to stay with us forever. It would be much better if we set a clear time frame from the beginning. That way Sasha can plan her future more effectively and we can avoid any unnecessary stress about each other's expectations.
What are you talking about? I'm saying that starting today, Sasha and my niece will be living with us.
Living together?
What? Are you saying you want to leave poor Sasha, who just had a baby, out in the streets after her divorce?
I'm not thinking that way at all, but having a permanent arrangement for them to live together with us seems... well, that just doesn't feel right, does it?
You're surprisingly heartless.
Is that really the issue here?
In any case, I'm bringing Sasha and the baby home tonight, so you're going to be in charge of taking care of them.
Huh?
Especially the baby. From what I understand, she needs to be fed every 3 hours, even during the night, so you'll need to help out during the day since you're working from home.
Wait a minute, I have a job, you know.
Yeah, but since you work from home, you should be able to adjust your schedule. Just switch to working in the evenings instead.
So you want me to take care of the baby during the day and then work at night?
Of course, and don't forget about housework too. You can't let that slide. It's crucial to keep the living areas clean, especially where the baby will be, because a hygienic environment is vital for an infant.
So what you're essentially saying is that I'm expected to help with the childcare, manage all the housework, and work all at the same time, leaving me with absolutely no time to rest? That sounds completely overwhelming.
That's something you'll have to figure out on your own. If you can't manage your time, that's just your own shortcoming.
Do you not really see how unreasonable that sounds? I mean, it's not like I'm a superhuman who can handle everything at once without a break.
Anyway, I'm bringing Sasha and the baby back tonight, so I expect you to be ready for them. Make sure everything's in place.
What if I can't handle everything? What if I get overwhelmed?
That's not my problem. You should have thought about that before making any decisions. You can handle it. You just need to organize your time better.
Do you not realize how demanding this will be? Taking care of a newborn is a full-time job on its own.
Well, it looks like you'll have to manage. Just keep your focus on helping Sasha. This is a tough time for her, and we need to support her. I know it's a lot, but this is what family does, right? You're gonna have to step up. No excuses.
Seriously? You think it's fair to put all this on me just because she's family?
Yes, I do. Family comes first, and this is what we signed up for. You'll be fine once you get into the rhythm of things.
Ugh, fine. I'll do my best, but you really need to acknowledge how hard this will be.
Just make sure you're prepared. I want everything to be in order by the time we get back.
Hey, Grace, it's been a while. Sasha, it really has. Did Ben talk to you? Yes, he mentioned you'd be living with us. Oh, I see. I know he was talking about cohabitation, but I want to assure you that I don't plan to impose on you too much, so please don't worry about that. Wait, really? First, I need to explain my situation. Where should I start? How about you answer a question first? Sure, go ahead. So you just got divorced while dealing with a 2-month-old baby? Is it okay if I ask why? Well, during my pregnancy, my ex-husband cheated on me, and that led to everything. I see. That sounds really tough. Yeah, but I'm not too down about it right now. I need to stay strong for my daughter. Plus, I was the one who uncovered my ex-husband's infidelity, so I guess I've always been good at bouncing back quickly. Still, don't overdo it. Thank you. Also, I'm curious why the idea of cohabitation even came up. I feel like there's a fundamental misunderstanding between Ben and you. About that, it seems like Ben thinks I'm just a stay-at-home mom who's been abandoned and is now wandering aimlessly because I have no income. Oh, is that not the case? It's true that I was cheated on, but I'm currently on maternity leave. My daughter, I've named her May, will turn 1 in about 10 months, and once my leave is over, I'll be returning to work. I've already made arrangements to move into company housing at the time, and the company even has childcare facilities. So, on my first day back, May will be well taken care of. What I need from you is just support until I return to work. So that means about 10 months from now? Yes, that's right, though I feel like that's still quite a stretch. No, don't worry about it. It sounds like you truly can't rely on your family right now, and if you have a set time frame, I'm completely okay with you and May living with us. We can discuss and divide the responsibilities to make it work smoothly. Thank you, that really helps. Now, I'm wondering, why did Ben even bring up the idea of living together in the first place? Regarding that, should we talk about it without Ben around? Is it better to discuss it when he's not here? Yes, I have a hunch about it, but I think it might be a tough conversation for you. I have a feeling I know what you're about to say, but okay. It seems like the time has come for me to leave, so I'll take off for now. Yes, take care on your way home. Grace, are you still out shopping right now? Yes, but I'll be heading up to check out really soon here. I'm sorry, but could I ask you to grab one last thing for me? What's that? May only has 2 more diapers left because I kind of forgot to buy more last time. Understood. You want the same ones as last time, right? Yes, those will do. I'm sorry about this, Grace. I came with my car, so this won't be a problem for me at all. Thank you so much.
You seem to be enjoying living together after all, huh?
Oh, Ben?
I saw you buying diapers at the supermarket earlier today. It looks like you're taking good care of your sister and your niece, which is great to see.
And how about you?
What do you mean?
Since Sasha came to stay with us, you've been coming home later and later. Nowadays, it's not unusual for you to be out all night. Sometimes you might not even come home at all.
Wow, work got unexpectedly busy, so what do you want me to do? I have to cover the extra expenses now that we have more mouths to feed.
But Sasha is contributing enough money, isn't she?
Huh? Do you really think she has that kind of money right now? Come on, think a little before you try to argue with me. Besides, she should be grateful that we're even letting her stay here. What's with that?
Nothing, really.
You're not gonna start acting all moody on me, are you?
No, of course not.
Look, I'm just saying that it's not easy for anyone right now. We're all making sacrifices. You should appreciate what we're doing to help Sasha out during this tough time.
I know. I'm just saying that it feels like you're handling things a bit differently since she moved in.
What do you mean?
It's just that your routine has changed a lot. You used to come home at a reasonable hour.
Yeah, well, I have to adapt to the situation. Things aren't the same anymore.
I get that, I really do, but we need to keep communication open if we're going to make this work for all of us.
You're right. I'll try to be more mindful of that.
Thanks, I appreciate it. Grace, I have wonderful news. What is it? I'll be able to move into my new place next month. Wow, that took a lot less time than I thought it would. That's right. One of the employees is moving overseas for work and will be taking his whole entire family with him. And since that place will be opening up now, I can move into there. I see. Well, I suppose things like that can also happen. I know that I'm still off work for some time, but they said I can still live in that place. I'm ready to go whenever, so just let me know. Roger that. When I have a specific date picked out, I'll tell you right away. Nice. Things are about to get a lot more intense.
Hey, Grace, where the hell have you gone? You left behind the filled-out divorce papers. Do you even understand what you've done? You're living off me, and now you want a divorce? The one who should be worried about this situation is you. If you get what I'm saying, stop all this nonsense and come back home right now.
I get it. So it looks like we're definitely getting a divorce.
Huh?
I understand your point of view, and I'm saying there's really no other option but divorce now.
Are you serious?
By the way, why did it take you so long to contact me? Did you just realize the divorce papers were missing?
But I noticed them right away and tried to get in touch.
We left the house 5 days ago, you know.
That long ago? Huh. We?
Of course, I'm talking about Sasha and May. When the company housing opened up, I timed my move to coincide with that opportunity.
What do you mean, company housing? She was a full-time housewife right until the divorce was about to happen. There's no way she could job hunt with a newborn, and you can't get into company housing if you're not working.
What are you talking about? Sasha is still an employee at the same company she worked for before she got married.
What are you saying? Wasn't it your high-income ex-husband's hope that she would quit her job?
She was pressured to quit and become a full-time housewife, but she never actually stopped working. While she was pregnant, she had severe morning sickness, which is why she took maternity leave early.
But she hasn't worked since the baby was born.
She just switched to parental leave right after giving birth, and she plans to return to work in a few months. She can still get into company housing while on leave, so when a room opened up, she moved over there.
Are you serious? But that doesn't justify you leaving.
Well, true, but it's not directly related. We just aligned our actions, that's all.
What do you mean by aligned our actions?
And by the way, you left a thick envelope next to the divorce papers, right? You haven't checked that yet.
I did notice there was an envelope, but,
That envelope should make it clear why I left and why I want a divorce.
What? When did you find out?
Is it safe to say you figured it out after seeing the contents of that envelope?
The report from the private investigator about the affair? You must have realized there was another woman in my life, so you decided to hire them, right? When did you notice? How long have you known?
I think it was about a month before Sasha came to stay with us.
Wait, what?
And by the way, Sasha knew about your infidelity, too.
What? How could she possibly know?
How do you think? Honestly, you really are quite oblivious to what's going on around you.
Oblivious? What are you talking about?
You forgot that Sasha and I graduated from the same high school? We were in different grades, but we were still there together.
Now that you mention it...
Your affair partner, Cassidy, is a classmate of Sasha's and also a junior in my club.
Wait, what?
She was the kind of girl who always stood out for the wrong reasons, so it was only a matter of time before news about her made its way to us.
No way!
Plus, the fact that you suddenly decided to let your divorced sister move in under the pretense of providing her with a place to stay was also quite suspicious. You basically manipulated me into helping with childcare, didn't you?
What?
By forcing me, who has never experienced childbirth, to handle an unfamiliar baby care, you were trying to create a life full of chaos, thereby diverting my attention away from you, giving you free rein to cheat without worrying. That must have been the silly thought that crossed your mind, right?
Wait, no, that can't be it!
Okay, sure, I haven't given birth yet, but you know my sister lives near our family home after getting married. When I was still a student and living at home, I often helped take care of my newborn nieces and nephews. I know that I can't compare to a real mom, but I do have some knowledge and experience when it comes to taking care of babies. Thanks to that, I was mentally strong enough to find out about your affair and hire a private investigator to look into it.
What? Are you serious?
Absolutely. I mean, while I'm not a professional, I do have some understanding of how to care for a child. I mean, I've changed diapers, given baths, and even fed them. It's not that I was completely clueless about motherhood, and knowing that gave me a sense of comfort and control when dealing with this shocking situation.
So you were already prepared to handle such a situation even before it arose?
In a way, yes. My sister's experiences and my time spent with my nieces and nephews allowed me to gain some insight. But what really mattered was that I cared enough to notice something was off in our relationship.
So you were always on the lookout for something suspicious?
Well, when your behavior changed and became more secretive, it definitely raised some red flags for me. I couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong, and that led me to start to connect the dots.
I can't believe this! I thought I was being so careful!
Clearly, you underestimated both me and Sasha. You thought you could get away with it, but instead, you just exposed yourself to us.
I see now. I really messed up, didn't I?
Yes, you did, and now you have to deal with the consequences. This is not something I can easily forgive.
But we can still work through this, right? I mean, there's still a chance for us, isn't there?
You think it's that simple? After everything that's happened?
I want to try. I don't want to lose you.
It might be too late for that. You need to understand the weight of your actions and what they've done to our relationship.
I know, I messed up. Just please give me a chance to make things right.
Chance? I'll consider it, but it's going to take a lot of work on your part.
I'm willing to do whatever it takes.
Let's see if you can actually follow through on that.
Hey, Sasha, what's the deal with you siding with my enemy?
Huh? What are you talking about, Ben? Just because we're family doesn't mean I'm going to support someone who cheated.
What? You've gone through a divorce because of infidelity yourself, and you ended up broke from paying alimony. After all that, you're gonna make your own brother suffer the same fate?
What are you saying? I'm the one who filed for alimony.
Wait, what?
The one who cheated was my ex-husband. He had an affair with a coworker while I was pregnant.
Wait, are you serious?
Did you think my divorce was because I cheated?
I thought that was the case.
Could you stop being so naive? Don't lump me in with that idiot who got caught cheating. I can't believe you would think that of me. Just so you know, I haven't even told you my current address as a precaution, considering the way you've been acting lately.
What do you mean, precaution? What are you afraid I'm gonna do?
I'm going to cut ties with you completely. That's my decision, and I don't feel the need to justify it to you.
Cut ties? Are you serious right now?
You really don't get it, do you? I'm not wasting my energy explaining the reasons to you. It's just too much of a hassle for me.
You think it's a hassle? What are you talking about? You're just gonna throw away our relationship like it means nothing?
You're such a loser. Honestly, I don't even want to think of you as my brother anymore. This message is where I say goodbye forever.
Sasha, wait!
Oh, by the way, one last thing. About my ex-husband's affair partner?
What's the point in telling me that now? You really think I care?
Well, you might find this interesting. It's actually Cassidy.
Huh? Cassidy? Are you serious? You've got to be kidding me.
And with that, I'm really saying goodbye.
What? You can't just drop something like that and leave.
Why not? It's not my problem anymore. I've had enough of this toxic situation, and I am finally taking control of my life. You should try it sometime.
Control of your life by cutting me off? That's your solution?
It's not just about you, Ben. This is about my mental health and well-being. I've been through enough without having to deal with your nonsense.
You think it's easy for me? I'm just trying to understand where you're coming from.
Well, here's a hint. I am done trying to understand you. It's exhausting. I'm focusing on myself now.
So what? You just want to pretend I don't exist?
That's exactly what I'm doing. It's healthier for me. Ben was devastated when he found out that his sister's ex-husband had been two-timing her. Filled with anger and betrayal, he immediately stormed over to Cassidy's place, determined to confront her about her actions. He couldn't believe that someone he had trusted could stoop so low, especially after the pain his sister had already gone through. When Ben arrived at Cassidy's home, he was shocked to find her in a compromising position with another man. The sight of them together was like a punch to the gut. Not only was Cassidy cheating on his sister, but she was also flaunting it right in front of him. He felt his blood boil as he realized just how deeply she had betrayed not only his sister, but him as well. In a fit of rage, Ben confronted them. The confrontation escalated quickly, and before he knew it, things were spiraling out of control. Words turned into shouts, and shouts turned into a physical altercation. The neighbors heard the commotion and called the police. Within minutes, sirens blared and officers arrived on the scene to break up the chaos. Fortunately, the police managed to handle the situation without anyone getting seriously hurt. Ben received a stern warning about disturbing the peace, while Cassidy, feeling the heat of the situation, realized she was in over her head. The fact that her affairs had now turned into a police matter was a wake-up call for her. The reality of her actions hit hard, and she quickly began to feel the repercussions. Feeling threatened and scared, especially with her infidelity exposed, Cassidy decided to cut her losses. She faced the prospect of having to pay alimony in compensation to her former husband, which weighed heavily on her. To escape the mess she had created, Cassidy took out loans and borrowed money, ultimately fleeing her hometown. She left in a hurry, looking for a fresh start while leaving behind the wreckage of her life and the relationships she had broken. Now living in a bustling city, Cassidy found herself entangled in dubious work just to keep up her debt. It was said that she was working at a shady establishment, and although she managed to make ends meet, the pressure of her financial situation was constantly looming over her. The glamorous city life wasn't what it seemed, and she realized that escaping her past didn't mean her problems had disappeared. Instead, they had followed her like a shadow, and each day was a struggle to repay her debts while managing her new, precarious lifestyle. Back in his hometown, Ben's situation was equally dire. News of the debacle had spread like wildfire, and soon everyone at his workplace was gossiping about the incident. Whispers echoed in the hallways, and Ben could feel the eyes on him as he walked into the office. The embarrassment weighed heavily on him, and he found it difficult to focus on his work amidst the judgment from his colleagues. To make matters worse, his family had decided to sever ties with him. After witnessing the fallout from the drama, they held him accountable, believing he should have intervened in a more constructive manner. They felt he had made a scene rather than resolving things discreetly. As a result, Ben was ostracized, and the support he once relied on was stripped away. The sense of isolation crept in, and he felt lost without the guidance of his family. With his savings dwindling and his self-esteem at an all-time low, Ben took drastic measures to settle his debts. He used his meager savings to pay off his part of the alimony to Sasha, hoping to rid himself of any further obligations that tied him to the past. He was willing to sacrifice his financial stability to create a clean break, desperate to start anew. But the weight of his choices bore down on him, making it difficult to see a way forward. As time went on, rumors continued to swirl about Ben. Sightings of him in a dubious establishment in the city emerged, suggesting that he had turned to a life he had previously shunned. But those stories were largely exaggerated. The truth was that he had no choice but to adapt to his new circumstances, struggling to find a foothold in a rapidly changing world. The once promising future he had envisioned for himself now felt distant and unattainable. Although the divorce between Ben and Sasha was finalized, the emotional scars remained. He didn't have the luxury of forgetting everything that had transpired. He had lost not only his sister's trust, but also the connection he had with his family. Ben felt the weight of his actions and inactions pressing down on him, shaping a future he never wanted. In the end, he found himself at a crossroads. While he had attempted to make amends with his past and set new goals for himself, the shadow of his previous relationships loomed large. He was unsure of how to rebuild his life or where to begin. And then, one faithful day, Ben spotted Cassidy slipping into a shady establishment in the city. The realization hit him like a ton of bricks. She was still in the same downward spiral, and he had somehow become intertwined in this chaos. But he knew that he had moved on from that life. He no longer had to be dragged back to the turmoil of betrayal and heartbreak. He had survived the storm, and while the scars may remain, he was determined to keep moving forward. As he watched Cassidy disappear into the establishment, he felt a mix of emotions: anger, pity, and a strange sense of closure. His divorce had been painful, but he was finally free of the chaos. He had learned valuable lessons about love, trust, and the importance of choosing the right people to have in his life. With that knowledge, he was ready to embrace whatever came next. In retrospect, Ben understood that his life was no longer defined by the mistakes of his past, but by how he chose to navigate the future. With the resolve to build and start fresh, he took a deep breath and stepped away from the shadows of his former life, ready to face a new dawn.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.
I'm taking that high-rise condo and your elite husband who makes $130,000 a month. You annoying old hag. Disappear. Huh? Yeah, you heard me. Who exactly is this? His girlfriend, duh. My husband's girlfriend? Wait, and what's this about a condo? Yeah, that fancy high-rise condo you just bought, huh? Starting today, it's gonna be my sweet home with him. I'm completely lost. What on earth are you talking about? Come on, don't you recognize me yet? Sorry, I don't think I do. Do I really have to say it? I'm Danny. We went to middle school together. Wait, Danny? Hold on, let me think. Wow, I even introduced myself and you still don't remember? Oh, yeah, now I think I remember. You were always bragging about being the tallest girl in class, right? Yes, exactly. I was tall, model-like, super mature, and of course, stunningly gorgeous. Yep, that was me. You did have that whole thing going on. But honestly, I've completely forgotten what your face even looks like. Excuse me? And now you, the tall girl from back then, are telling me you're my husband's girlfriend? Oh yeah, Chris is head over heels for me. Wait, Chris? Yep, he's totally ready to divorce you soon. So I packed up my stuff and came over to the high-rise, and guess what? I could just waltz right in. So from today, this place is officially mine. Chris? Yeah, your husband, Chris. My husband's name is Chris, with a C. Wait, what? Chris is my husband's older brother. Huh? Wait, what? Yeah, Chris is my brother-in-law, not my husband. Wait a minute. What? Oh, and just out of curiosity, which high-rise are you in right now? What's the room number? Tower A, 3803. Oh, right. That's where Chris lives. Wait, so the place is right? Well, yeah, you've got the right high-rise and room, I guess. Oh, well, that's a relief. Sure. Man, I swear, sometimes you really can't trust the info you pick up at these reunions. I mean, it's been pretty unreliable lately. Reunion? You mean the one from 3 months ago that I didn't attend? Yeah, one of your friends at the reunion said Ashley is going to marry the future CEO and his salary is guaranteed to be $13,000 a month. I think I understand now. But you know what? It's fine. I mean, sure, mistaking you for Chris's wife is a bit of a blunder. But hey, I got into the high-rise suite, so that's a win for me. See ya! Good evening, Maddie. Do you have a moment? Yes, Ashley? What's going on? So that woman who claims to be Chris's girlfriend just messaged me about her plan to take over the high-rise condo. What? Are you serious? Yeah, but since you'd already told me about the situation beforehand, I wasn't too surprised. How did that even happen? Well, when she introduced herself, it jogged my memory. It turns out she was one of my classmates in middle school. Back in the second year, we were in the same class. Wait, seriously? Yeah, we weren't particularly close or anything, but I guess she somehow found my number from a group chat from a reunion I had to miss. I'm guessing she got the number from there. But why would she even reach out to you in the first place? Apparently, she mistook me for Chris's wife. What? How on earth did she mix that up? So here's the thing. Danny's lifelong dream has always been to become a CEO's wife. Even though we weren't close, it was something she talked about all the time, to the point where even I knew about it. She used to say things like, with my model-like figure and good looks, landing a CEO will be a piece of cake. She bragged about it every single day. But Chris isn't a CEO, and it's already decided that Chris, the younger brother, will take over as the next CEO. Right, this is just a guess on my part, but I think Danny has it stuck in her head that the eldest son always becomes the next CEO. That's probably why she thinks Chris is going to inherit the company. Oh, makes sense. That's been the tradition, right? Every generation, the eldest son inherits the company, ever since your great-grandfather founded it. Exactly, so she probably assumed it would automatically apply in the next generation as well. On top of that, a friend of mine who attended the reunion casually mentioned that I married the future CEO, and I guess that's where Danny picked up on it. I see. So, a mix of her assumptions and some half-baked information led her to think you were Chris's wife. Yep, I went ahead and corrected that part, though. I didn't want that misunderstanding to interfere with anything going forward. Good call. Thanks for that. What about the whole mix-up regarding the next CEO? Did that come up at all? Actually, it didn't. She didn't bring it up during our conversation, so I didn't address it. Got it. Sounds good. By the way, where are you right now? I'm guessing you must have left the high-rise if Danny's there trying to take it over, right? Yeah, I'm staying at a cheap hotel near the station. Isn't that inconvenient for you? Well, not really. I'm planning for this to be a short-term situation anyway. It felt like too much of a hassle to rent a weekly apartment in the middle of all this. Honestly, I'm having a pretty good time here, so don't worry about me. Well, as long as you're okay with it. Besides, we're actually in the final phase of our plan now. The moment that woman decided she was going to hunker down and take over room 3803 in Tower A, she sealed her own fate. Tomorrow morning, it's all coming to a head. Oh, nothing beats the morning view from the high floor of a luxury tower apartment. It'd be perfect if only Chris weren't away on his overseas business trip. Huh? Wait, do you not know? Chris isn't on a business trip, he's on an overseas assignment. What? Overseas assignment? You mean he's not coming back for a while? Well, he might return for holidays or for work, but as far as I've heard from his wife, it's probably going to be permanent. What? His wife? Why is his wife involved in him moving overseas permanently? Well, they're married, after all. Chris is going to marry me. That's the whole point. We're supposed to be finalizing his divorce right now. So if anyone's going to live abroad with him, it should be me, his future wife. And hold on a second, what about this tower apartment he just bought? Isn't it a waste of money if he's planning to move overseas permanently? I think you should probably ask Chris's real wife about that. What? You haven't met her yet, have you? And it sounds like you don't even know her name. I don't need to know her name. Well, I think you'll have no choice but to confront her soon, so maybe you should start preparing yourself mentally for that. What? Danny, you remember me, right? Huh? Your half-sister, Maddie. What? Maddie? It's been about 10 years, hasn't it? Ever since you tried to take my last home by stealing my husband but failed, and then vanished without a trace. What are you talking about? Oh, you don't remember? You barged into my home, acting all triumphant, telling me to get out like you had won. I still remember what I said back then to you. All right, I'll leave. But just so you know, this house is under my name. And let's not forget when I added, by the way, my husband only makes $1,300 a month. Good luck with that. I can still picture that stunned look on your face, like a pigeon hit with a bean gun. I haven't forgotten that moment. It was priceless. I mean, who would have guessed that guy was a part-timer with such a low income? Or that the house was actually under your name? And here you are, 10 years later, pulling the same stunt. Haven't learned a thing, have you? What? What are you even talking about? Didn't you catch on when Ashley messaged you earlier? Why would I care? What are you getting at? I'm Chris's wife. What? After I divorced my ex-husband, I met Chris. We got married. What? That is so unfair. You need to divorce him right now. Let Chris go. I'm sorry to disappoint you, but this time you didn't steal anything. You're just stalking him. Huh? All those times you thought you were meeting him after work, you were just stalking him. And that 3803 apartment you're sitting in right now, you broke in with the key you stole from Chris's bag. It's called trespassing, and now you're squatting illegally. What are you talking about? Chris left his bag open so I could easily grab the key. He was doing me a favor. No, he just forgot to zip his bag properly. And most people, when they see an open bag, don't just take things from it. That's called stealing. Whatever. Either way, this apartment is mine now. Chris's stuff belongs to me since I'm going to be his future wife after all. Weren't you listening? He's going to divorce you. I hate to break it to you, but that 3803 apartment you're sitting in, I bought that. What? I'm a real estate investor. That apartment was an investment property. But then Chris's overseas assignment came up, and with the lease on our old place expiring, we decided to stay there temporarily for the last 6 months before his departure. Are you serious? Yep, and now that Chris is away, I'm planning to put it on the market for rent. So do me a favor, pack up your stuff and get out. You've got to be kidding me. Ashley, I heard that your husband is going to be the next president of the company. Is that true? You have to let me have your husband. Honestly, I should have aimed for him from the start, but I ended up making a mistake and going after someone else. This whole situation is so confusing. As an apology for messing things up, you need to give me your husband. I knew you would say something like that. So give him to me right now. Well, I mean, it's a freebie, right? That's not impossible. With my model-like figure and stunning beauty, any man would fall head over heels for me in no time. You did mention that my husband's name is Chris, right? What? Chris? Do you really think you can take him just because you heard his name? Did you really think you can take him just because you heard his name? I don't think your choice of words was very nice, but yes, that Chris. The same one you've bullied and looked down on for ages. And it turns out that Chris is actually the son of the company president. No matter how good-looking someone might be, there's no way I could develop any romantic feelings for someone who only brings back terrible memories for me. If only I had known back then that he was the president's son. I really messed up this time. What's going on here? What's happening now? I was just in the middle of packing up my things and leaving my apartment in the tower, and as I stepped outside, I found my parents waiting for me. I don't really understand what's happening, but there's this black minivan parked outside. I mean, it's all just so confusing. They said something about me working at this company called Oniwa Group, and before I knew it, I was being shoved into that minivan. Oh, Oniwa Group. Wait, you know about them? That's the construction company where your ex-husband, the one you stole from my sister Maddie 10 years ago, works, right? What? I heard that he took out loans to pay for the alimony and that you were sent there to work off the debt. It's also supposed to be a place where they can help you, straighten out your morally questionable behavior. Morally questionable behavior? What are you talking about? Well, it's also known as a kind of rehabilitation facility for, delinquents. Delinquents? What is that supposed to mean? That's so rude. I'm just saying the truth, Danny. You've not only taken Maddie's ex-husband away, but also had some sort of affair with other married men, haven't you? Wait, what? I heard you still haven't paid back the alimony that was demanded back then, right? Well, honestly, is it any surprise that you ended up being sent to Oniwa Group? No way. What on earth am I going to have to do there? Since it's a construction company, isn't it obvious what kind of work you'll be doing? You expect me to do physical labor when I have a model-like figure and stunning beauty? Are you serious? I don't know what you expect, but if you keep getting yelled at, are you going to end up becoming muscular or something? What kind of nonsense is that? I absolutely do not want that. I'm just saying, don't come to me with this nonsense. Can't you do something to help me out? I really don't know what to say. Anyway, good luck with that. No, I can't deal with this. I absolutely do not want to go through this. I don't know what's going to happen to me. Why is this happening? Why can't I just have a normal life? I feel like I'm being forced into a situation that I can't escape from. I refuse to let this happen to me. I'm not going to let them dictate my life. I have dreams and aspirations, and this is not a part of them. I want to scream. Why does it have to be like this? I don't deserve this kind of treatment. I'm panicking. What if this turns into a disaster? I can't handle it. I just want to run away from all of this. I can't believe my life has come to this point. I'm so frustrated. This is the absolute worst. No. I can't do this. Danny, believe it or not, is already 29 years old. Her parents had reached a breaking point with her behavior and decided to give up trying to manage her. They had been neglecting her for quite a while, but when she almost landed in a situation that could have involved the police, they realized it was time for drastic measures. They arranged for her to join Oniwa Group, a construction company, in hopes that it would help her straighten out her life. Danny, however, was completely bewildered by this turn of events. Instead of stepping into her dream life as the glamorous wife of a company president, she found herself burdened with debt and forced to work at a construction site. The reality of her situation left her feeling lost and confused. "Such a job could never suit someone as dazzling as I am," she cried, throwing a fit and causing a scene. It was hard for her to accept that her life had taken such an unexpected turn. She had envisioned a life filled with luxury, elegance, and high society, but here she was, being told to work in an environment far removed from her dreams. Despite her protests and outbursts, her situation changed rapidly. In no time at all, she was captured, metaphorically speaking, and thrown into a black minivan that whisked her away to her new life. As the vehicle sped off, Danny couldn't help but feel like she was being taken to some sort of punishment. She was overwhelmed by a mix of disbelief, fear, and a deep sense of loss for the life she had envisioned for herself. Now she found herself in a reality where she had to pay off her debts from her monthly salary while enduring tough training under the guidance of strict and demanding senior colleagues. The work was physically grueling, and Danny had to sweat profusely, often struggling to catch her breath. She was quickly learning that her previous life of glamour was worlds apart from the reality of her new job. At the construction site, the atmosphere was harsh and unrelenting. The noise of machinery and the rough banter of her coworkers filled the air, creating an environment that was foreign to her. She felt out of place, surrounded by people who were focused on their labor without a care for appearances. The very thought of doing physical labor made her anxious, and she couldn't shake the feeling that she was in over her head. I remember her first day vividly. She was so overwhelmed that she could hardly focus on the tasks assigned to her. Her supervisor was a stern man who seemed to have little patience for mistakes. He barked orders at her, and she could feel the weight of his expectations pressing down on her shoulders. It was hard for her to adapt, and the physical labor was unlike anything she had ever experienced before. With each passing day, Danny realized that she had to face the situation head-on. It was no longer just about her appearance or aspirations, it was about survival. She needed to prove to herself and everyone around her that she could handle this challenge. She couldn't let her past define her future. During breaks, she often found herself sitting alone, trying to catch her breath and collect her thoughts. Her mind would drift back to the life she left behind, the parties, the glamorous outfits, and the thrill of being the center of attention. Those memories felt like a distant dream now, and she longed for the comfort and ease she once took for granted. Yet, amid the struggle, Danny began to appreciate her new way of life. The people at Oniwa Group, while rough around the edges, were honest and straightforward. They didn't care about appearances. They valued hard work and dedication. Slowly but surely, she started to build connections with her coworkers. They shared their stories, struggles, and triumphs, and she began to see them as more than just colleagues. One day, while lifting heavy planks with a fellow worker named Hiro, he caught her eye and offered a supportive smile. "You're doing great, Danny," he said, giving her a thumbs up. His encouragement felt like a small light in the darkness of her struggle. In moments like these, she started to realize that she was not alone in her journey. Hiro had his own story of challenges and hardships, and he willingly helped her learn the ropes. He showed her how to use the equipment properly, and under his guidance, she began to improve. She no longer felt like a burden, but rather a valued member of the team. Despite the hard work, Danny found herself growing stronger, both physically and mentally. The sweat that dripped from her brow was a testament to her determination to overcome the obstacles in her path. As the weeks went by, she could see the progress she was making, not just in her work, but in her confidence as well. Of course, there were still moments of despair. There were days when the exhaustion felt overwhelming and she wanted to give up. There were times when she would sit alone, tears prickling at her eyes, reflecting on the life she had left behind. She missed the glamour, the excitement, and the freedom she once enjoyed. But then she remembered why she was here. She needed to pay off her debts and find a way to turn her life around. She couldn't let her past mistakes define her. She had to push through the pain and keep moving forward. One day, after a particularly grueling week, her supervisor called her into his office. Her heart raced as she wondered if she had done something wrong. But instead of reprimanding her, he surprised her by praising her hard work and dedication. "You've come a long way, Danny," he said, a rare smile crossing his face. "Keep it up and you'll go far in this company." His words meant more to her than she could express. It was a turning point for her, a moment when she realized that she could indeed find a place for herself here. She was no longer just the girl who had stumbled into this situation. She was becoming a part of the team, a community that valued each other's efforts. As she settled into her role, she also began to think about her future. What did she really want? Was this where she wanted to stay forever? Part of her was still drawn to the life she had imagined for herself, but she knew she needed to focus on the present first. With the help of her coworkers, Danny began to learn about the construction industry. She discovered that there was more to it than just physical labor. She found herself fascinated by the projects that they worked on, the teamwork involved, and the sense of accomplishment that came with completing a job well done. Little by little, she started to feel a sense of pride in her work. She could see that she was no longer just a girl in a pretty dress. She was becoming a woman who could take charge of her life. She began to embrace her new identity and the strength that came with it. As the months went by, she continued to pay off her debts and felt a growing sense of independence. She was no longer dependent on anyone else to define her worth. She had learned to stand on her own 2 feet, and it felt exhilarating. While she still had moments of longing for her old life, she also found joy in the friendships she was forming at Oniwa Group. They would often share laughs and stories during breaks, and she felt a sense of belonging that she hadn't experienced in a long time. In the end, she realized that this unexpected turn of events had become a blessing in disguise. She was learning about resilience, hard work, and the value of genuine friendships. It was a journey that was shaping her into the person she had always wanted to be, even if it wasn't in the way she had originally envisioned. She couldn't help but wonder what the future would hold for her. Would she ever return to that glamorous life she once dreamed of? Or had she found something more fulfilling in this new path? Only time would tell, but for now, she was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. Through the ups and downs, she had discovered her strength, her voice, and her place in the world. And that, above all, was worth every ounce of sweat and tears. As she reflected on her journey, she realized that she was not just surviving, she was thriving. She had come to appreciate the value of hard work and the satisfaction that came with it. She was no longer just a pretty face, she was a determined woman with a strong spirit. Every morning she woke up with a renewed sense of purpose. She was ready to face the day, no matter what challenges awaited her. She had learned that life was not always easy, but it was in those moments of struggle that she found her true strength. In the end, she had transformed her life in ways she had never imagined. The woman who once cried over the loss of her glamorous lifestyle was now embracing the beauty of her new reality. She was learning to navigate this new world one step at a time, and she was proud of the person she was becoming.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.